name is Kelly depaola. Um, I got divorced in 2006, but the beginning of the divorce was 2005. I've had two restraining orders against my ex-husband, which, being a battered woman for 12 years, we got married actually in September 11th. Um, it was in 1993, September 11th. So that was should have been a clue. I had many clues, but I didn't pay attention to it. But in the beginning of the divorce, my ex-husband was very worried, I guess, that he was losing everything. And he lost a lot of weight. He was trying to get me back. And I had it being married to him so long, I just couldn't. He had choked me. He had burned me. He had done a lot of different things to me. Spilled boiling hot coffee on me. He's done many, many, many things. It was 12 years of a lot of abuse. But at this point, I'd had it. Um, Towards the end of the divorce, I had gone to Sandra Ramos for help, and I went to her battered mother's meetings. They have them every Wednesday, and it's helped me a lot. But um, I thought that my abuse was hell itself, and I thought by divorcing him that it would be the end. Well, I didn't realize it was the beginning. I got my divorce from him, and in the divorce, they had an ex parte meeting, or actually end of it, and they took my kids away from me. They called me up. My lawyer called me up and told me to have the kids ready, put everything in garbage bags, and put it outside the door for your husband to pick up the children. And that's exactly what he did. He picked up the children and their clothes and belongings, and I was left with nothing. Because at the time I was getting child support from him, but they cut as soon as he got the kids. And I had no idea what was going on. This all happened when I wasn't present in court at all. And he came and got the kids, and then I was frantic to try to find a way to fix it. And I talked to my lawyer, and he told me that I had to go to a local hospital to get evaluated, because at the time they said that I had depression and that I wasn't capable of taking care of the children. So I did that. And it was like all a game. Like, they sent me on a wild goose chase, but they knew all the while I was never going to get my kids back. I wasn't going to get them back. We had our divorce, and at that time, I had been through so much with the children being taken. It was like, it's a well coordinated plan, because I had lost it, or handed my children over in November, beginning of November. By December 15th, which was our trial date for the divorce, I had been under so much pressure and panic that at the divorce itself, I actually conceded to everything that they were doing to me, because I was just basically in shock at that point. And then we had joint custody, and I had gone to a hospital for a psycho evaluation for myself. I voluntarily did that. I got a drug screening. Of course, I don't do drugs. I don't drink. And the doctor talked to me, and she couldn't understand why I was there. She didn't understand why I was there. And I was trying to explain to her that I was in the middle of the divorce. I had lost the kids. And I came there because they told me that I need to be evaluated, so I thought, to help me get the children back. But it was a farce, basically. She said that was okay. She said that you don't even need to take your medicine, the Zoloft that I was on. It was 25 milligrams. And she said, you don't even need it. So I went off of the medication, and I did everything in my power to try to get my kids back. The lawyer I had hired, I had borrowed money to get this lawyer, and I spent maybe $5,000 or $6,000 on him. And all the while, he was conspiring with my ex-husband's lawyer to do just that, take my children away from me and everything. So one day, my lawyer called me up, like I said, and told me that that I had to get out of the house. And I was like, what? The judge is not going to put me out on the street. It was a Friday afternoon night. He's not going to put me out on the street. This is impossible. Sure enough, that day, it was a Friday, my ex-husband brought the children to the house, but it was supposed to be my visitation with the children for that weekend, because I was on somewhat like in-home supervision. But anyway, the children were there. that night, it was 5, 6 o'clock at night. And the police came and they told me that my mother and I had to grab what we could and we had to leave the home. This all happened in front of my children. So now you have a police officer or officers outside my apartment house, like lights on blaring. My children are thinking that, myself and their grandmother getting arrested, like we had done something bad. They're hysterical. My ex-husband, sick as he is, he dropped these children off to witness myself and my mother getting thrown into the street, because that's exactly what happened. I was given $500 from my husband, and I was literally put on the street. The officer said, well, where do you want to go? And I said, I don't know where to go. So she brought us to a local hotel, and we stayed there for like 2 days, and then I moved to another hotel, and we managed to be able to stay there. My ex-husband actually had to pay for it because the divorce wasn't finalized, so we stayed there for a little bit. And I thought of Sandra, and I called her, and of course she took me in. She had known me because I'd gone to her meetings for about a year, and she took me right in. And I've been through quite a lot since then. My children were seeing me at the shelter, and they were coming to me every, you know, spring vacation and weekends and things like that. Everything was going fine. I had mysteriously somebody called DIFUS on me, saying that the kids didn't have proper sleeping arrangements. So they came to the house and they looked around. They said, "This is fine," And then a few months went by, and then all of a sudden I got another allegation. But this time it was from my uh, court-appointed psych evaluator that my husband hired, telling DIFUS that I had beaten the children. But this incident or incidents were from a year prior. No one mentioned anything about me beating the children at all during the divorce. And none of this, all this came up afterwards. But I figured that they made up this allegation because they wanted to keep me from my children, because my ex-husband is the abuser. They didn't want the children telling me anything, because anytime I talked to my children over the phone, I would record it. Any commotion in the background, anything. My kids, I called them one night when I was in a hotel, and I said, "Where's Daddy?" And they said, "We don't know." I had 4 children at the time. My oldest one was 11, and I had 4 children, so they were all pretty young. And they're in the house alone, and it was like 10:30 at night, and I was like, "What? We don't know where he went. Do you know where he went? You know when he's coming back? Did they leave a number? Did you call Nana?" They were totally left in the house alone. And I called DIFUS and I reported it, but I'm not sure if anything happened to it at all. So far, I've been through this for like 2 years, and it seems like everything I do, the courts cover for him. Like right now, I'm on supervised visitation. I see my kids every other week, every other Sunday, for an hour. And I also pay child support. Yes, I do. And I was put out in the street and I was homeless, but somehow they ended up making me pay child support for the children, because he has all 4 children. My ex-husband he's a painting contractor. He makes a lot of money. I have absolutely nothing. I have nothing to live on. I had absolutely nothing. So I had to quickly figure out how to take care of myself. I couldn't get a job easily because I'd been a house mother for 12 years, and I ended up begging Sandra for a job, and I've been driving for them ever since, and it's still finding my way. But being in the shelter and working at the shelter is great for me. I learned a lot. A lot of the women that come in are victims like myself and their children, and I hear more and more horror stories. It makes me so angry. I want to do something to help other people, because children should not go through what they're going through. They didn't ask to come here. I always say that. They didn't ask to come here. We should make them suffer. And the thing I hate the most is the courts always say, well, we were just trying to do what's in the best interest of the children. And it's like the exact opposite. And it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And until I die, I will try to do something to change this. And I happen to be a pretty shy person, and I admire Sandra because she doesn't care what people think. And that's my lesson. I realized the reason why I came there, the reason why this happened to me, is because I was. This is a lesson. It's a hard lesson, but it's a lesson I have to learn from my children. And I want them to be proud of me. I want them to see that I did everything in the power to fight for them. And I'm not going to give up until I get them back. Thank you so much. And I'm still, my children still, I see them every other Sunday, like I said, but they also tell me every time they see me that, we didn't forget that you're a mother. And, and I think women have to really remember that the kids know who their mother is, and they they don't forget about you because you don't see your children enough. You think, well, are they thinking about me? Do they remember I'm your mommy? And a lot of these abusers have new girlfriends and wives and kids, and you think, did they just forget? But I realized from seeing my children, and I don't see them that often, twice a month if I'm lucky, if he lets me see them, they remember. And they remember everything that happened. And they're going with it, they're going through it is, the same way I'm going through it. The emotions and stuff that I feel, they feel. And I always have hope. And I know that it's not going to last. It's really not going to last. And
And I want other women to know that there's hope.
yeah, I definitely want other women, okay.
Yeah,
I want other women to know that there's hope and not to give up. That's the most important thing. Our shelter, Strengthen Our Sisters, is one place women can go for help. There's help out there. Um, and hopefully, women will see this and they will have the inspiration to seek help, that you're not alone, that there's help out there for you and your children, not to be afraid, to be brave. Because it's to take that step and to go out and to leave your abuser is a big step. But you're doing it for yourself and your children. And there's definitely places out there that will help you. They will help you get housing, they will help you get schooling and cars. You know, there's a lot of help out there. You just have to find it.